Hey, Okie Tools here, also known as Bubba Tech, and this is my video on the replacement of the outer tie rod ends on my Chrysler Town & Country 2010 touring model. I think this would also go for the Dodge Grand Caravan for the same model year. Don't quote me on that. But they've have a lot of side-to-side movement, the outer tie rods on both sides. The inner tie rods seem fine, but the outer tie rods have a lot of side-to-side movement that they're not really supposed to have, to my knowledge. So I decided to go ahead and replace them and take you along for the ride as I do it. And as you can see, I have it jacked up and with proper jack stands underneath it, and the wheels are chocked. So safety first on that. And got the wheels off and ready to go to work. Okay, so I'm undercar here, and just to show you the bad tie rod, outer tie rod, that is not supposed to do that. So that right here, the joint is worn out, so it's gonna have to be replaced. So first thing you want to do is bust this here nut loose, and you need to be careful doing it. You only need to bust it loose, don't undo it a lot, because you want to preserve the alignment as much as possible. When you need to count the turns when you're taking this off, and just leave that nut and just snug it back up after you're done, because you want to preserve that, because I'm going to take this to get aligned afterwards, so it's not that big a deal, but you want it to be safe while you're driving there on your way to the shop. And if you don't do that a lot and you're very careful about it, you may not even need to have it aligned. The place I go will put it on the rack and test it just to see if it is out of alignment before they actually do it. So that's pretty cool. You may not even need to align it and get it go check just to make sure it's good to go. So I use a adjustable wrench because I don't have one that's that big to go on it. You want to make sure you're going the right direction and bust it loose like that. And you don't want to do much more than that, so that's all we do there. So then you're going to be working on this one, and you want a 18mm wrench. And just bust it loose. Now on mine, it has the center portion here that takes a 9mm socket, and on my other one, when it was worn out, that started moving, so I had to actually hold it with the 9mm socket and a 1/4" ratchet and move the 8mm wrench around it. But this one seems to be doing pretty good. You can also use an impact if you want to. Okay, so that's at the top. So that stayed together pretty much all the way to the top, and this didn't come loose. So it didn't do that on the other side when I did it. So that side must have really been worn out for that stud to be freewheeling like it was, and I had to hold it in place with that 9mm socket. And the fact that it just kind of dropped out after I got it done. So I'm glad I'm doing this, replacing these, because they're obviously really worn out, even though the boots are okay on them and they aren't making any noise. So I have it to the top here, kind of a flat surface on the top, even with it, so I can go ahead and hit it with my hammer. Okay, so there it come loose. Take that the rest of the way off and let it drop like that. Okay. So thanks to Chris Fix, I got this idea about you actually counting the turns as you back it out. So like this would be straight up and down, and then you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth till you come all the way off. Got it off here, and as you can see, I was freewheeling that around. They're definitely worn out, so needed to be replaced. I got the old one off right here, and I got my new one here, the Move one that I got, and just comparing the lengths here, they are the same length. It's they do look different though. The Moog is obviously a lot stouter, thicker in this area than here, and larger grease area here. and the stud isn't as long, but it does have the pinhole in it, so you can use the cotter pin, and it does come with a castellated nut versus this older nut, which I kind of liked because it had that material in there to hold it on, and then it was had this sort of locking washer on the bottom that was integral to it, and then it just looks a little bit more beefier than the castle nut. But I'll be using the castle nut so I can use the cotter pin and go through the pinhole there. So you can use any brand you want. I just chose to use Moog because I've used them on other cars that I've had, and I decided to use them this time. And got them from rockauto.com. Great place to shop. Local parts store wanted about 37 bucks for this new Moog here in town, and I got that on rockauto.com for about 20 bucks. So saved quite a bit of money. I think I got both of them shipped to me for about $50, so not bad, other than just waiting for it to get here. Great price. These also have grease certs on them, which I really liked over the older one that didn't have it. And remember, they aren't on there when they come. You got to put them on, and it takes a 7mm. So okay, so I have the new one here, the new Moog. So go ahead and line it up on there and get it started. So this is going to be the first revolution. So you just go ahead and start counting it on there. That makes 2, 3, and move the knuckle to where I can line it up to get the stud in there. Okay, so the stud's now up in there. Take my castle nut and go ahead and start it on there. And then go ahead and get my 18mm wrench and start getting it on there. And here's the cotter pin, and the hole's lined up and it's tightened down to where it needs to be. And go ahead and feed the cotter pin through, and you want to bend these back around. My needle nose is here. You want to bend these back around to the sides of the nut. As you can see, I got it wrapped around the castle nut there, and it's in nice and snug. So the last thing you need to do is to tighten this, snug this back up, and get out my adjustable wrench and get on there, and then just snug it up. And then it's got this place right here you can get on and do it back to the center, back even. So just to show you the difference, yeah, I can't move that with my hand, and they're a lot snugger now, and they don't have that side-to-side movement. So glad I replaced them. So it's time to put the wheels back on and take it over to the shop and see if it needs to get aligned. This didn't actually move that much, so it may be fine. But that was my video on doing the outer tie rod ends for the Chrysler Town & Country. Thanks for watching.